Hola, 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 hello, and welcome all to Jay's Makeup Channel, where we're going to be discussing today. Actually, this week we're gonna continue to do the little clips every day. I'm gonna give you guys little clips. So this week we're going to be discussing about makeup. Who invented it? Who started it all? Where did it come from? Like, I was just thinking, like, how far back does makeup go? Who invented it? So I did a little research. So while I do my makeup, we're gonna be discussing that. So the first thing I'm gonna do before we go into that, I am going to put on my eyelid my translucent powder, and I'm going to just seal my oils in my eye. Before, what I used to do is I used to put on my concealer, and then I used to put the translucent powder on top and then put on my eyeshadow. But I started noticing that after I did that, the eyeshadow application, I don't know, it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't having a good finish after I would put on the translucent powder over the concealer. So what I started doing, excuse me, and it works for me, I started using the translucent powder on my skin to seal my oils from seeping through, and then putting the concealer right on top. And that's been working for me, because what it's doing is just keeping the oils at bay on my eyelid. And then what I do is I will go and I will put on my concealer. So today I'm going to be using my concealer in Ivory, and that's what I'm going to be using for my eyelid. So going back to the makeup, so I was doing a little investigation. So since we're doing concealer, let's talk about the concealer and who invented the concealer. So in the research, and I'm referring to my notes because I did a little research, so I'm referring to my notes here, okay? So bear with me, okay? Thank you. So, interesting story. So when I was doing the research, I found that actually the one who invented the concealer, her name is Lydia O'Leary. Now, Lydia O'Leary, she was born with a raspberry colored birthmark that covered half her face. And I think we've probably seen people like that, where like it's a birthmark and it's literally half their face that's like this raspberry color. So I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I've seen it. So she was born with this birthmark, and she was used to getting looked bad and basically people staring at her. She was into art, actually, and one day when she was doing her art, she actually made a mistake in her painting, and she went back with a lighter color, and noticed that it covered it really well. That was an epiphany moment for her. She was like, she had an idea. So then she started thinking, well, maybe this will cover up the mark that I have on my face. So she started using like home ingredients, buying things from the pharmacy. She hired this person to help her with the invention of the cover. What she was calling it back then was the cover mark. This was in the 1930s, I believe. Yeah, 1932. And then she finally perfected it, and then she went to get a patent for it, and they denied her application for the patent. So she went back and she appealed it. And she sat in front of the judges, and she had, I she had the cover, what was called the cover mark. She had it on, and she astounded the people that were there, the judges, by showing them actually how well the cover mark worked, because then she showed them her birthmark and how well it covered it. So then they approved it, and when they approved it, after that, she opened up her company, and then she started using it. They started actually using it like for like the veterans and the men who came from war and had marks due to war, scars and things to that nature. So they started using that for them to cover that up. So you're saying, like, well, how did concealer come about? Because we do call it concealer now. So it had a transition. So basically in the 1930s with Lydia O'Leary, go Linda, thank you. We applaud you. She started it with the cover. It was called cover mark. And then in the 1930s, they went to calling it camouflage. They were calling it camouflage because that's what it was doing. It was camouflaging like imperfections and blemishes and scars and marks from war and things to that nature. And then in 1954, actually Max Factor, it was the first time that they put it out for commercial selling, and it was called the Max Factor Erase. And that's when they put it on the market. And when they put it on the market at that time, they put the name concealer. So that is the story of the concealer. Interesting, isn't it? Stay tuned for the next episode.